C'est le père que nous avons eu grâce à Peter, c'est l'organisation des entreprises d'assurance et cette grande diversité des situations entre les États. Donc on n'a pas une situation qui ressemble à l'autre d'un État à l'autre. L'une des premières questions auxquelles on pense, c'est justement de savoir si ces compagnies, ces entreprises d'assurance ont développé des produits spécifiques au changement climatique. Est-ce qu'il y a des produits d'assurance qui sont relatifs au changement climatique tel qu'on l'entend aujourd'hui?
Well, I think I actually have a slide that references that, but let me just answer the question very quickly. I'm not sure that they necessarily think of it as, well, they certainly don't necessarily market it as climate change products. It's rather strange when you look at the U.S. This is language from a brochure of a company that offers coverage for risks associated with weather and increasing numbers of storms and increasing intensity of storms. It provides coverage for hydroelectric, for solar, and for wind system development in terms of new sorts of energy products and new sorts of energy investments. And it provides coverage for the fact that, for example, the photovoltaics might not work in the manner that is originally intended, or that something might go wrong with the wind turbines, or that there might not be adequate sun, or there might not be adequate wind. But the brochure reads, as this does, and I'm going to read it simply so that we get translation for those of you that can't read the English. By the year 2030, renewable energy use, excluding hydroelectric power, is predicted to double. Recognizing that the world's current sources of energy will not last indefinitely, governments and businesses are aggressively pursuing alternative sources of available energy. Current sources, that is to say energy sources, being sought by the U.S. will seek to decrease the dependence upon imported oil. What follows, where you see the three dots, where you see the language that is missing there, that becomes language then having to do with climate change. But it comes second. This is written during a period in which we had a president by the name of Bush. And this company did not want to be too forward in claiming that climate change was real. It had to come up with other reasons for its product. This is, of course, changing in the US today. But I think we need to recognize that that's part of the climate, if you will, of the marketing of environmental insurance and certainly climate-related insurance. There are very, very many specific products, but they are rarely brand new products. They're extensions of existing products. The best example I can give you is there is a product which practically every major company in the US buys, which is insurance coverage for the individual liability of its directors and officers. Well, what has happened in the US now is there used to be a series of kinds of reasons why someone might sue a director and officer of a company. They've now added coverage for lawsuits that emanate from not paying attention to climate change. That's not a new product, but it's a new kind of coverage.
Très bien. Alors, ce que je comprends, donc, c'est qu'il n'y a pas tout à fait de nouveaux produits d'assurance. Donc on va aller jusqu'au bout. Tout de même d'autres questions, puisque le cœur de l'interrogation autour de la mobilité, est-ce qu'il y a des produits d'assureurs, alors qui n'existent pas, ou peut-être pas tout à fait, mais qui sont profilés, sur lesquels ils réfléchissent, et qui, cette fois-ci, traitent directement des émissions de CO2 ou du changement climatique lié à la mobilité. Donc il peut s'adresser soit aux conducteurs, soit à des entreprises de transport, soit à des entreprises qui ont leur propre flotte de transport, etc.
There's very definitely a new development in the U.S. context with regard to what's happening with regard to transportation. And the best example I have for you is the development of something called pay-as-you-drive car insurance. And this is something which is being promoted by a number of different states, Notably, for example, the state of Texas, which among other things drills for oil all the time. Pay-as-you-drive car insurance, the idea is that your insurance cost will be a function of how much you drive your car. And therefore, if you drive less, you're going to pay less in insurance. Now, one might think that this is, after all, the insurance is a relatively small portion of the total cost of driving a car, even when you look at extremely low-cost petroleum products and gasoline in the United States. But the projections are that it could actually have a major impact on just pay-as-you-drive car insurance in terms of the ways in which it could drive down the amount of car driving in the U.S. One of the estimates that got made was that in California, I shouldn't be going to California because you will be discussing it next month, but in California, if in fact all of the insurance policies in California were based on miles driven, pay-as-you-drive insurance could drive the state all by itself 7 to 9% closer to the reduction in CO2 targets that the state itself has for 2020. Reduce driving in light-duty vehicles by 8%, annual social benefits in excess of $10.8 billion, and so on. There have been other studies done. Resources for the Future, a major economic analysis firm, considers this to be a very promising development in terms of changing driving behaviors. And that's the most obvious one that I've got for you.